Welcome to the Six-Figure Author Experiment, where we help you break through your first or next $100,000 goal. Parental discretion is advised. Now, let's get on with the show.
Yay. Hi, Lee. Welcome back. Thanks again.
Yes, I'm so excited. I do have a confession. We have been talking about launching. And this week, I got a book out of an anthology. And I didn't wait for the audiobook to be produced, didn't wait for the paperback cover to come in from the artist. Still waiting on that. I threw that ebook up. I didn't launch it. It is just sitting there. And I'm going, why did I do that? I know better. Like, why didn't I launch it? And I just wanted to confess.
Well, I think that sometimes you just have to do that, though. Like, I'm live with a Kickstarter right now. And like, I thought I was going to launch it in June. And then a publisher told me that they're going to launch a book at the end of May that would conflict with it. And so I was like, I'm just going to launch it now. But like, I just don't have the energy to launch it now. But like, it broke even. It did well. Like, I love the book. Like, I think it's going to find an audience eventually. And like, sometimes you just got to like not put the effort in there, which is one lesson I hope that like, I think is great to impart is like, sometimes you can just not launch and just push your little baby out the thing and be like, it's going to be what it is.
Sometimes it's the 6 cent author experiment. I don't know. I'm looking and going, okay, now I'm seeing what I do want to do right the next time. And that means building time out. Like you said, sometimes you don't have the energy. So how do I make sure I have the energy? And that means putting it on the calendar and saying, you're not writing and you're not focused on other things for this month. It's about the launch and it's going to be worth it because there are some books that are worth launching huge, like the book one in your series, a trilogy in dark romance, for example. And some of my launches, a lot of my launches are very basic. And I put the book up or my assistant does, and I send an email. Or she sends the email because it's a translation. It's in French. And I just have all these launches going on at once as part of my wide strategy, but it is worth it. This was a book that would have been worth launching. And I'm going, okay, I'm going to hold my feet to the fire next time. But really that means giving myself space so I can.
But let me ask, because like rank's so much less important when you're wide, like, can't you just be like 4 months from now, I'm going to talk about this book baby that didn't get its right. There's enough time and like do it then?
That's exactly my plan. I asked the audiobook producer, hey, when's it coming? Because it is live audio. It's going to be duet. So a male, female voice per chapter. It's really cool. And then I need to chase the cover artist who is brilliant, but I don't think always sees my emails, and that's okay. She's brilliant. And yeah, I can do it right. I actually am working on another dark romance thing. And I talked to the developmental editor this week and told her, I need you to make sure I actually launch this trilogy. A trilogy is worth launching and launching big. She laughed and said, I'm dead. Yes, I will do that.
So when you do a trilogy launch, are you doing like 1, 2, 3 really close together, or is like...
Yeah. So with the trilogy that Renee and I are launching now in the paranormal space, we put book 1 out. It was a pre-order for about a month, put it out in January, put book 2 out. It just came out. What month is this?
May.
Okay, wait, no. We put it up to pre-order book 1 in January. It went live end of February. Book 2 just came out in May, and book 3 will come out in June. And by the 1st of July, we're hoping we'll have ads dialed in on the store for a bundle offer, a self-liquidating offer, which we've talked about. And we just blast ads to that offer. But we need to get things aligned before then. And for us, that actually means releasing the whole trilogy everywhere on retailers everywhere before we spend the ad budget. It's different from anything I've ever done, but that's because we've never done a huge launch with a self-liquidating offer with a store.
Yeah. It's really it's really interesting because, yeah, I mean, if you're talking about the spillover effect of getting like 7-figure spillover effect on retailers, you like want all of the books to be live because regardless of anything else, like people don't pre-order like they buy. Like it just is a thing, right?
The
Like
thing.
it like you will get, I mean, I've seen people 10, 100x their like launch, like 2, 10, 100x like their pre-orders in the first like week or month after a launch because like people might want it, but they just like don't do it if they can't buy it now.
Yeah, they want the whole thing. And that's why I think your launch is going to go really well. I also think that series, trilogies, launches like this, where you're doing multiple books, it's really about you have a long runway and you have multiple excuses to talk about what you're offering. So book 1 comes out, you talk about it, and then you get bored. But then book 2 is coming out. So then you talk about that. And marketing is just an excuse to talk about what you created and when you're excited about it.
Right.
And I just feel kind of guilty because I didn't launch and I'm lecturing you every week about launching. And then I was like, wow, do as I say, not as I do.
I again, like, so before we started doing this podcast, because I knew it was coming, I put a bunch of books that I had taken off retailers back on retailers. I'm like, I don't think about them now. And like, that's okay. Like, I feel like one of the things that was really holding me back before we did this was like just the nerves of all of the mental stuff about like what a launch means. Because like a Kickstarter launch is like you have 30 days. And after those 10, 20, 30, up to 60 days, like it's over and you're done. And so like part of it for me getting over it just mentally was like, well, like you might screw up the first 4 of these. And like then you got like 6 more to like get it right on and like make it all work at that point. Like when you have a series like I have, it's like 12 books, or like if you relaunched your 20-book series, like that's like basically 2 years of like launching consistently to like make up what you didn't make up the first time. And so like one of the beauties of Kickstarter for me is like, oh, I have a 10-day book. I have a 5-day book. Like how I can be like, I only want to talk about this book for 5 days, which was I launched 2 books in one. And I was like, I don't even want people to buy it. I just want my super fans to buy it. I don't even want it to get out because like it's 2 books that I drew and like I'm very proud of them, but like I don't want people who don't know who I am to be their first introduction to my work. So I like intentionally cut it down to like 5 days. And so like sometimes you have to say, all right, I'm going to make the commitment because this book like Cthulhu is hard to spell. It's like this book cost me 30 grand. I have to talk about it for a month and a half. I just have to like, but like sometimes you're like, I'm just going to put this book up because that's the energy that I have. And like if it sits on my thing, it will guilt me and it just needs to be out.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. But we were going to talk about what can go wrong in a launch. Before we do that, do you want to talk about?
Well, you had a story about a publisher.
Oh,
I have a story about how this last 3 months has gone. And like then we may have time to talk about what could go wrong in a launch.
What else can go wrong? So yeah, spoiler alert, life is so lifey. That's what Russell said in an email a while back. And that's going to be the moral of the story for this episode. You said you had a rough week.
Oh no, I had a rough 3 months. Like the last 3 months have been like I've made the most money in quarter 1 that I've ever made before. And also it was the worst quarter 1 that I've ever had because of how much we spent. So
oh yeah. Okay.
About three months ago, I hired an ads team and I've been like trying to hammer our author stack or like the newsletter that I have, which like I want to get it up to like 50,000 subscribers this year. Like that's the big number that I have in my mind. And like it costs money to get subscribers, especially in nonfiction. On the nonfiction side, like you're paying multiples of what you pay on the fiction side to get a subscriber. And so like we were trying self-liquidating offers. We were trying like to do our course. We're trying to like make money back from the newsletter that like, cause it's a paid newsletter. And just like, anyway, I got through the end of it. I fired my team yesterday because they had a 3-month contract. I knew that it was not going to work the first month, but I signed a 3-month contract, and so I had to like, so anyway, like I'm down over 30 grand like on this experiment for 3 months in like the last three, maybe not 30 grand. I'm down at least 20 grand. On the year, I'm down 30 grand of like, I'm like building up this newsletter that was going pretty well before. And then I like wanted to juice it up because like part of we have conference, it's got a huge contract associated with it, and like we need just more authors to know who we are and like to fall in love with us and want to spend time with us in New Orleans every year. So like part of it is like that build up. And I've always been someone who had like 2 seasons. I had like a building season and a monetization season.
Mhm.
And like I was trying to make it all one thing. And I tried really hard and like I really failed a whole big bad. Like this is easily the worst business mistake I've ever made in my entire career by magnitudes. Um, and even when you come at the end of it, like we got like 8,000 new subscribers, 9,000 for like 30 grand. Like that's $2.40 a subscriber. Like that's on the very high end of what you should pay for a subscriber for like a newsletter, like what we were building. So yeah, I've been watching. We had the absolute best quarter I've ever had. As far as like first quarters go. I just did a newsletter about it that should be coming out next week, which would be live now if you were listening to it on the author stack. But like still look, and it's hard for me because the first quarter is usually where we build our buffer for the year, and the end of the year is where we blow all of the money that like I've built up this year. So I'm like, great, I have a huge deficit, and coming up, like these are the months that like we spend the money that we made in the first quarter. And so I have been very, very, very nervous in the last few months, but I know what happened. And this is the lesson here is there are companies that are very good at getting you from 1 to 10, from 10 to 100, 100 to 1,000. There are very few people who you can trust to get you from 0 to 1. Like to actually make something that like can replicate sales and like make something that actually repeatedly brings in money for the long term. And once you have that dialed in, there's any number of humans who can like you can send money to and be like, okay, I'm going to give you 10 grand, you're going to make it 20 grand. But like to go from 0 to 1, if you pick wrong there, suddenly you're like in a losing battle because you're trying to build the sustainable model while you're like hiring this team to like grow the thing. And it just like, they are not a builder. And I thought I had more of a process that was replicable because like we make money on these things, like, but it just like it ended up because we hired the team to grow it without having the replicable monetization in place. Like we ended up being in a very bad place right now.
Well, congratulations, you tried something.
That and so I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and like I put all the numbers up. I'll update it to whatever the numbers are once I finalize this whole thing at the end of the month or next month, which will be like June, which may be close to when this comes out. But investment always comes before growth. And it's something that when I brought this up, people said, I thought you were supposed to be an expert. And like, how are you so unprofitable? Shouldn't you be profitable? And my response was like, the only reason that I am profitable and like make money is because I invested in the growth before it. Not everything makes a ton of money for me. Not everything even makes a lot of money. Most things don't flame out as horribly as this. Thank Jeebus. But like off, like all of those things I had to invest in and then see the payoff for, whether that was time, money, or both. And the more that you invest, the more you can expect back by magnitudes. Hopefully, that's the goal with like anything. I'm going to invest a week of my attention and I'm going to get a month worth of money back. I'm going to spend a month of my attention and get a year worth of money back. I'm going to spend a year of my attention and get 10 years worth of money back. But like, it's very hard to do the opposite. Sometimes you can like, if you have an audience, we talked about like doing a live cohort or something, like you can say, I'm doing a live cohort class, pay for it, and then we'll make it. But like you've already invested years, 10 years into like your relationships before you make that. And then you have to spend the energy to make it great to like do it again. So I mean, that's the big lesson for me is like, I'm trying to embrace my inner desert this year, which involves a lot of optimizations, which I knew would be very hard for me as a person who does not care about optimizations and like just wants to like get a good offer and throw it up in front of people and watch them do it. But like the one rule that I've learned this year as I'm watching for 2 months, Lee, these people that don't know what that aren't right run ads that are wrong. Like I'm watching them do it and trying to like maneuver it and trying to like watch things happen. And I'm just like unhappy. And there's nothing I could do about it till yesterday. I just kept being like, what can we learn from this? Like, what are the search terms that are going to be most profitable? Like, what am I going to pull out of this at the end to like make this work? But like, it was a disaster. Like I've never had a disaster like this before happen in my entire career. So it was a bit wild to watch, and I definitely was not worth it. But like, I'm trying to still pull out and tease out like, what did we learn throwing $30,000 at this problem that like I don't have to do it. I never have to throw $30,000 at this problem again.
To learn the lesson.
Yes, I definitely learned that lesson. Like I definitely learned the lesson. Do not hire someone for growth until they have proven they have built before multiple times. And this is the lesson I learned the last 2 years. Do not hire people unless they have done the exact thing that you want done. Like if you can't find somebody that has done that exact thing, like built a conference in the authorship space or run a conference in the authorship space or like made a whatever the thing is, like if that person has not gone on the journey that you have gone, there is almost zero chance, no, though not zero chance, because there are some people who can do it. There's almost zero chance that they can help you.
Yeah, you need them to have gotten from 0 to 1.
Yeah,
And
or
then,
like,
yeah,
or they need to have like done a cover in your genre that hit the thing that you want it to hit. Like they have to have like if you have never done a book before, they have to have edited a book in the genre you want to write in, because otherwise they will give you advice that like is not the right advice. And I mean like, hey, if you're doing a dark romance mafia with shifters, you need to hire somebody that has, and like werewolf shifters, not dragon shifters, or like sci-fi romance, like they have to have taken somebody on the journey so that they know what the journey feels like to be like, oh, this book hit #1. And like, I know what it took to hit #1 because I watched it happen. I've been to that place before, so I can take you on that journey.
Yeah, agree. We have an English professor who edits some of our books, and we love her. She's a friend, but she doesn't read a lot of other paranormal romance. So there are critiques that she gives us that we will not listen to. We have beta readers and ARC readers and trusted people who consume romance, and we will weight their opinions more heavily.
Yes, that is such a good point. Like, you have to weight opinions. Like, one of the biggest things before before direct sales became a thing was I would be like, I would watch people survey their audience and be like, how can you tell which of these people have bought your books? And they're like, can't. And you're like, then how do you know which opinions are right? And they're like, can't. And I'm like, well, no wonder your book is not doing well, because you're taking advice from people who don't read your book genre and implementing it.
Yeah, that's why data is so valuable. My husband and I joke about our hometown, which was voted #1 burger joint or place for burgers, city for burgers in the US. And we laugh because our town loves itself. And so we are #1 for people who do silly surveys about things that aren't actually true,
Right.
but we vote for ourselves. That's what your poll is giving you. And that's why data is so valuable, though. So you went through this big experience, and we're going to talk about launches and failures. And I feel like this is a great example because you went through all that. You could tell, I think your instincts kicked right in. Day one, it's almost like you went on a date and you were like, nope, but you had locked in for 3 months. So, that's good. That's good data. And your gut was there. And then you kind of watched it, I guess, fall off a cliff.
So
And you just,
for like one brief 10-day period, it worked perfectly. And like we were profitable or like close to profitability in like that very small window. Like in that 10-day period, we made like $2,400 in sales on $100 ad spend a day. And I was like, beautiful. But then what happens? Like the ads break. Like ads break. They just break. I don't like no one knows why. Like and no one can tell you when they'll break. Like just like at some point, Facebook ads will like stop working and you've got to like do new ad creatives or new something. And so like I know that for a brief glimmer of time, like we had like something. And like I wonder if it's like we added a profit maximizer to the offer, and that kind of like dropped it was partially when it stopped working. Um, I don't know, like I have a plan. What ended up happening? Like, so for all of the bad things that happened, one of the good things is like it made me focus on a problem that has been very hard for me for my entire career, which is like figuring out how to get self-liquidating offers, especially in the course space, to convert. Like I have never been able to figure out how to work. And like I started seeing the membership model that like just not converting in the way that like led to enough growth for us. And it made me be like, well, how, if I were to go back and redesign this thing, like how would I redesign it? And like I kind of have like a direction that I think is going to like will be more profitable and like allow for more sustainability, because like specifically what happened was like they are very good at building daily morning brew 1440 like daily newsletters that are focused on ads. And so I started being like researching them a lot and seeing like how could that exist in the author space, like how could I bring that in a way that is like congruent to like what I want to do, like what I think the audience wants, and then like allow me to know if I have 50,000 people on my email list and I sell 2 ads in a thing, like I will make $800 regardless of like what else happens. So so yeah, like it like gave me focus and forced me to work on this problem that I absolutely like hate working on. And we all hate working on. One of the things about this thing is like every time before we record, I'm like, maybe I just like don't launch at all and I just put them live. And I'm like, nope, he's gonna be angry. All the audience is gonna be angry. Like I gotta do it. I gotta do it, even though I like
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it's good. Like I wanted the accountability. Like that's why I thought this would, if I did not have the accountability, these books would already have been launched and I would have launched all 12 and done no promotion for them and done nothing for them. And by the way, if you're interested, Lee, I put the link to the self-liquidating offer for the course in the chat, so we can put it in the show notes. You can look at it. Like it's for one of the courses that has been our best sellers. I also just know that the space is just not right for doing ads in this way. So there's all sorts of things that I learned. But I wish I didn't have to spend $30,000 on it. But I don't know if I would have ever learned it if I didn't commit to looking at it every day for 3 months. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, and I feel like if as long as you learn something, you're moving forward. And
right.
that's what life is about. So two things. Things will go wrong. There will be failures. I was thinking more along the lines of in my launches, I've had my account shut down, my Amazon
Yeah.
account. Let's talk about the nuclear level option. Guys, Renee and I formed a separate business for our books because it made sense. We set up a separate Amazon account, which is legal because it's a completely separate tax identity, right? It's a tax thing. They think we pirate our own books. We have told them multiple times, here are the contracts, here are the rights. And we have in the past, knock on wood, gotten our Amazon account shut down on the regular. And this is after we launch a French book. So we do this little thing. We don't even know it went live because our assistant put it up. And suddenly we're getting emails saying, you're pirating books. You're a bad actor. We're shutting you down, which is awesome. I'm really glad that they're trying to stop pirators. However, we are literally not pirating our books.
Yeah.
We own the books. And guys, I will tell you this, we have gotten that account back. It has been live now and healthy for, I think, over a year. So we're hoping that's all behind us. We mostly get success by emailing the CEO. So we'll email the Bezos, I think Jay Bezos at Amazon or something.com. And then Jaffe, just Google them or join the Millionaire Author Mastermind and look for account banned because a lot of people have gone through this and gotten their accounts back. Yes. But it is scary. It is horrible. And there's a pit in your stomach when these failures happen. That's kind of the highest option. I was going to work down from there, but I know you've had.
I mean, we had a similar thing happen though with the book sales supercharge. We wanted to put some of them on our Writer MBA account, and they were like, "You can't do this. It's part of this other account." And we're like, "But it's a different ID. It's us." And like, I will also say that like, do not just use that Bezos email for like everyday BS, like because like they do check it. It does lead to like results, but like they can also just put you in a filter and put you in some sort of like filter. So like only use it. Like it's with one of those with great power comes great responsibility things. Like only use it if your account is shut down. Like I don't even know if like, so the next level down is like all of my pre-orders have been wiped out. That's like the next, feel like the next lowest thing after my entire account was shut down. I worked on this pre-order for 3 months and all of the pre-orders now are gone and there's nothing that they can do to get it back. Like, I don't even think that's like a Bezos level. I don't know anyone who can get that account.
Nobody can get those back. Yeah. By the way, if you launch in Germany and you go in and raise the pre-order price, they cancel pre-orders for everyone. They're not going to just charge them more money, which is actually a good thing. But if you did a price flip thing, oh, get it at this price. Oh, now the price is going up. They cancel those pre-orders, just FYI. And also, we lost pre-order privileges. That's what went wrong for our May launch is we had a German book set to go live, and that involves a translator and an editor. So it's not entirely under our control. And we thought it was happening, and it just didn't get uploaded in time. But we did get them back. We asked for pre-order privileges back. Our assistant actually went ahead and did that and kind of was like, it was my bad. And we did get our pre-order privileges back. So yeah, there's levels to this. I'm just trying it. If you're listening and you're freaking out, I just want to say it can work out. It's going to be okay. We've had wrong book files uploaded We've had wrong covers uploaded. And I feel like indie authordom is very agile, and you can go in and say, whoops, and fix it. And it's not going to be the end of the world or the end of your career unless you give up, unless you go, I did this, it failed. I mean, Russell, you're talking about a lot of money here. And you could just say, it's all over for me, but you're not. You're just moving forward. And that means you're going to win. It's not all over for you.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like the pre-order thing is like always freaks everyone out, right? Because it's like it can just magically happen and nobody can do anything about it, and you never are, it's never money till it's like actually money, until like Jeff Bezos cuts you a check 60 days after the month after the thing is done. Like nothing is guaranteed. Um, but like I will say, like, if you do upload a different file, like make sure to email Amazon and tell them to send the file out to everyone, because they do not always do it. They seem to not do it more often than they do it, or their policy is to not send it out. So if you are uploading a new file, make sure that they know to send it out and update everyone else. Otherwise, you probably will not happen. I think in that range is also so somewhere in that range is a KU one, which is like Amazon is deleting all of my page reads before X reason. Or like they're taking 10 million page reads out or something like that, or they have my account flagged because like somebody used like bots to like, because like yeah, it's like what happens is like a scam account will try and get a bunch of page reads, but in order to do that they have to like read a bunch of other books as well. So like they usually, what happens is like these well-meaning authors are like involved in this without knowing that they're involved in it, because like the scammer is over here and they were just like the legitimate, like they were trying to like legitimize their scam by being over here. But like that doesn't make it feel any better or worse when you get that email that's like your page reads have been taken away, also you're under investigation for like being a scammer. Like that's, I like, aside from getting your account shut down, that's got to be like the worst
It's
KU one,
scary.
right?
Yeah, for sure. But sometimes that's the tax of being in Kindle Unlimited. I'm sad it happens to people, and they post in the Facebook group that I run, Millionaire Author Mastermind, and everyone's like, I know, me too. And we're sad. But it happens because stuff happens. You get your book pirated. We
Right.
used to just watch, when we were in Kindle Unlimited, we would just watch Apple, or we would load a pre-order but not make it live, so that when someone's pirated our book, we could say, listen, this is RIP. Do you see it loaded here? Well, before, here's all the contracts, here's all the things. And you basically get that pirater shut down. In the meantime, you're getting scary notices from Kindle Unlimited, from Amazon, going, you published your book on Apple and you're exclusive to Kindle Unlimited. And again, it all works out. It all can get straightened out. Ideally, you keep your head. You stay calm. You stay cool. You're like James Bond being lowered upside down into a pit of piranhas. The calmer you are, the more you're like, things will work out. The more strategic you can think, and clearly you can think, and you can get out of it. But I'm going to post some resources in the show notes, because when this crap happens, it's nice to ask somebody, how did you get out of this mess? Or just get a virtual hug from someone who's been through it.
Are there any, I mean, like there's other ones in the direct store, which is like your site goes down, or Kickstarter goes down if you're on Kickstarter, or like your payment processor goes down, or like it doesn't process for like an hour or 2 hours or a day, and suddenly you get like 500 notices that like everything processed really, but like it just wasn't giving you notifications that it processed.
That was our first pre-order launch in February. People who had early pre-ordered it didn't get the book. So we were fulfilling orders. But great news. We got feedback. We changed the pre-order app we were using. And I think number 2 went really, really smoothly. So you adjust. You get the data and the feedback and you adjust. Also, I did get my entire Midnight Romance shop pirated. Someone set up a dummy Shopify selling my books, our book bundle, which is usually $50 for like $3.
Yeah.
So then, of course, people weren't getting the books. And they conflated it with another author friend I have, Anne-Marie Meyer. And it made me a little angry. Pirating usually makes me angry, but this made me angry because I'm thinking, who knows that Anne-Marie Meyer and I are friends and have Shopify stores? It has to be someone in our group. So F you, whoever you were who pirated it. But again, we got it to go away. You can submit a DMCA takedown notice for an entire Shopify store, it turns out. And we did. And we were told, if you want to get the money back from the pirater, Apple made the money, right? But they're not going to give you the money that they're going to pay to the pirate. They're like, oh no, you have to go after the pirater, which I think is BS. Like you should pay us. So that's a big problem. I'm sure the federal government will be doing a lawsuit soon, but yeah.
Oh, there is another one with the store. Okay. So like there's another one with the store where like if you are using Stripe and someone disputes a claim, every disputed claim costs, whether it comes out in your favor or not, costs you $15. Like they charge you $15.
Yeah, that is annoying because usually they side, like PayPal will just side with the person, even though you're literally showing screenshots, the delivery of the ebooks or whatever. And yeah, I just got one of those notifications in German. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to refund this lady because I don't speak German.
Well, if you are doing a subscription and you charge, let's say $5 a month and someone disputes 5 of those, that's $75 where you only made what? Like every single claim is cost that. And like, I think if it's in your favor, like they don't charge you, but like I have people like on Substack, they use Stripe. Most people use Stripe. And like, I'm assuming I know PayPal has a dispute fee too, but like every single disputed charge, like that's a big one. Like you could have, I mean, I haven't seen more than like 6 months worth of them, but like I have seen people that have like multiple and like they're charging $5-10. So like if they get this not in their way, like they're paying $75 and also getting that money taken away from them. Like it's like that's a big one. That's one you probably don't know about if you're not doing a lot of direct sales. Most direct sales is one charge, but a recurring charge is gonna get every single one of them. And it is exhausting. I just had one recently. And what PayPal does is they say, this was disputed. If you just refund them, like we won't charge you. And I was like, yeah, I don't care. Like I don't want them to have these books that they don't want. So like I wish Stripe did that. They just said, you just got these things, refund them, or like do we go in the charge? But like they don't do that on Stripe. So like that's a
interesting,
pretty big one. There's convention ones where like if you're swiping cards and someone disputes a swipe, like they do not protect it, but if you do the NEF, they do.
Interesting.
So there's like a lot of those little ones that fall into the like this is a real big pain, but you probably aren't going to deal with it. Are there any others that are?
I mean, PayPal has shut down friends of mine accounts with like several grand sitting in them.
Oh, I have a great one for PayPal. PayPal will just say that your money is held for some length of time, especially if you vastly increase how much money you're taking in. It's like a new PayPal account. Like you have to really inch that stuff up because they will say there's a 60-day hold, and you're like, I'm running ads, dude. Like,
yeah,
I can't. Like, it's like there's a reason why I'm not on Amazon because I don't want 60 days to go by before I'm a hold. So like, I have a pretty low opinion of PayPal because there's no other payment processor that will like push your stuff on blast for like that long. Maybe a couple days. Like I've seen 5 to 7 days on some places, but like 30 or 60 days is like exclusively, I've only seen that on PayPal.
Yeah, we turned PayPal off for a little bit because friend Nick got his account shut down, and he was just doing a routine, like, let me check to make sure my sales funnel is working sort of thing. And they were like, goodbye, $8,000. And so clean out your PayPal account. And also, I think we're talking about this depressing stuff because I think it's healthy to go, something is going to happen. You're going to stub your toe. Your launch will go wrong in small ways, in different ways. And the more level-headed you are, like when Renee and I get a notice, this happened, we lost pre-order privileges for a year, we kind of have an attitude of, okay, so what? Because we're just going to keep moving forward. And that's really healthy. It can be really healthy to have a friend, really helpful to just keep you bolstered. But I think most importantly, manage your emotional state, because if you're getting really angry at all these pirates, it's not good for your blood pressure, right? It's not,
Yeah.
it's hard on your heart. And if you're just grinding your teeth at night, or you're just in the depths of the despair, it's affecting you. And really the only person who's going to take you out is you. Now you might decide to play the game differently. You might be like, you know what, I'm going to bypass PayPal or Amazon. And ultimately we didn't do those things. We said, you know what? The PayPal tax is a lot less than what Amazon is charging, and Amazon gives us most of our money. So we're also going to be on Amazon, and we're just going to deal with it. We're going to move forward, and we're going to keep emailing who we need to email. We follow up sometimes with Amazon with multiple times from all of our website emails to be like, I'm the real Lisa Vino, and here's my contract again, 15 times. And it has worked out. I also got my Facebook account hacked. So make sure your passwords are really, really long, guys. They got through my husband, who had a basic password. His personal account is gone forever because hackers got it. But we were finally able to kick him out of my ad account.
Oh yeah, I had my account. Facebook disappeared me because they somehow randomly thought that, like a year and a half ago, and I had to like I just lost all of my Facebook, everything. I don't have access to my own wannabe press. I don't have access to my own thing. So like always make sure that at least someone else has admin access to like your thing,
Oh,
because
that's
like
nice.
if they don't have admin access, if I had my wife had admin access when Facebook just randomly decided that to disappear my account, she could have let me in to like whatever my other account is. And I know like Pierre talks about openly, Pierre Gentil, like that happened to him. They think he finally got his account back. Like I have a secret account that like seems to have 500 friends, even though I'd never talk about it or post there. So it's like that stuff. Like I like what you said, because like once that stuff doesn't knock you down, you kind of get inoculated against it. And it's like over time, you just stop, like you just like there's like very few things that can phase you, because I don't know. Like I say last year, like we have a conference called we did a future publishing this year. We have Writer MBA next year. You can and that bill was due, and it just like we were so far behind, because like the way a conference works is most of the money comes in like later, but they want your money now. They want, like, everyone wants to get paid now, even if you're not going to get paid later. So like at some point in the year, instead of freaking out, I just like got inoculated to it. And I was like, I don't know, like maybe this is going to bankrupt me and then I won't do it again. I don't know. But like, you can't like freak out about a thing. And then I was like, now I'm like, oh, $200, like I'm just like, none of this will stop. Like I have such a huge bill every month due that like, so like losing $20 or $50 or chasing $100 just like doesn't do anything to me anymore, because like even $2,000, if someone comes to our conference, is like 1% of what we owe for this conference. And it's just like you do these things and you're like, oh, well, like all of that money that I told you I lost, like I have it to lose. Like, I mean, I don't know, like I made it before. Like I
Pretty
don't know,
cool.
like I'll probably make it again, or I won't. And then like we'll have way different problems, but like they won't be the same problem. Even this year with the conference, it's like it's not the same problem. The problem is like not the mastermind. It's how do we expand this out to like 500 people from like 100 people. So it's a new interesting problem that we're dealing with. Um, but and the same thing with like the ad. It's like I can just not run ads to like my author stack, and then like 30,000 is pretty good. I don't know, like 30,000 people on a
Pretty
mailing list,
awesome.
pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, like if I double it, that would also be good. And like the people kept saying, it's like, you know, you have these people, you can sell them later. And I'm like, I know that, bro, but I didn't hire you to sell them later. I hired you
Yeah.
to
I
sell
was
them
like,
now.
I wanted you to make me money. That's why I gave you $30,000. But
But
again,
it's
you
like,
got data and you're going to move forward. So you're going to make it back.
yeah.
And
So I have a
yeah,
rule. My rule is I can be pissed about something for 24 hours is a pretty common rule. And then I have to come back. It's the same rule we talked about with editing. Like I can be furious at my editor for one day. I can yell about how she doesn't know anything, how like she doesn't know the books, that she's like, I can't believe that she would say that. But then I have to come back and do like realize that like she was right. I like just got to do the thing. I don't like she's right. I could be bad about it or I can just do it. And so I'm an 8. I'm an Enneagram 8. So like in stress, I lash out and I just know. My wife knows that anything I say in stress, like any big proclamation I make in stress, just like to discount it for 1 hour. Because probably I'll come back in an hour and be like she's a 9, so I don't yell in the house. Like I can't yell. Like she's like turtles. So like I learned to like, but like I'm like, we're never going to go to that restaurant again. And then like an hour later, I'll be like, it's probably fine if we go to that restaurant again. It's okay that they just didn't give us duck sauce or like whatever. But like, but like your Enneagram or like what you do in stress is probably different than me. Like there's like jealousy might be a thing, or like envy or spite, or like maybe you eat yourself to like maybe it's like maybe you're like gluttonous, or like maybe you just turtle and you don't ever want to deal with any stress, and so like if it comes you just like fall into yourself for like a week. And it's like we all have these things. Like a 1 is a great example, like as the reformer. It's like if things are not, if there's any injustice, there is no justice. And it's like you could be, everything could be 99% right, but like a 1 will blow it up for that 1% that's wrong. And like we all have these things that like we do in stress, and mine is like I have to swallow my anger. Like I'm a gut, like my angry gut is gonna like destroy everything. Um, so yeah, I think that whatever your stress thing is, like that is your initial reaction. And what do they say? Emotions aren't wrong, only how we express them is wrong.
yeah. And the more you can just keep moving forward, I think. And know thyself is really part of it, because ultimately, why are we doing this? And that was the question I was asking a week ago when I met with a trad publisher who does print deals and looked at our numbers. And I was hoping they would go, oh, great, you're only selling 2.8% of your sales are in print. We can take that and run with it. There's a big opportunity here. Instead, what I learned, trad publishers want low hanging fruit. They want the readers already to be banging down the doors of Barnes and Noble, and then they swoop in with their like logistics to make sure that Barnes and Noble doesn't have to order off of Ingram Spark, basically, if you guys
Mhm.
want to know. And I was also told 320 pages to 380 pages. They want a fat spine. So don't give them a trilogy. Don't give them stuff that's already been published unless you have that growth and that need, where Barnes and Noble is going, no, no, no. Can you get us this book? Versus them, the trad publisher, trying to sell Barnes and Noble the book. I'm sitting in the meeting. That was a rejection. So then I get angry. But I also was going, why do I need this? Why do I need a printer? Why do I need this deal? And I don't really. she looked at our numbers and she literally said, why don't you guys just keep doing what you're doing? You're making a lot of money. Do it for the next 3 years and retire. And I was like, yeah. Well, I was hoping that someone would say, oh, here's a need and run with it. But it's like you said, Russell, they don't want to build from 0 to 1. They just want to like shepherd what you've already built, basically. Right. And I just got so angry because it was a rejection, but also I was going, what is the point of you? I need you now to build my print sales and you don't want me. But when I don't need you, you're going to want me.
Right.
And part of me was like, well, I'm not going to want you. What's the point of you? And when we build our print sales to where we want them and people are banging up down the doors for our discrete editions or whatever, then I'll sing a different tune. But I did come away from it going, what is the point of all this? What am I doing? What in the world, what in my life isn't in line? Because I don't want to sign a deal that's going to stress me out. And I don't want to go to a conference that's going to stress me out. Because what's the point of that? What's the point of anything? I really had a intense moment where my husband got ranted at for an hour where I'm like, why do we even need publishers? And what's the point of anything? And I don't want to do that signing. And he's like, okay. And I'm thinking, I want to get up in the morning and I want to write. And I am. And that is it. So everything else is noise and I could actually tune it out. And I'm the one who chose to pursue the deal or talk to the person and sign up for the signing. And now I'm going, actually, I don't want that. And that's great data.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's so true because we like, and also it's great to hear because like you're listening to this, you probably aren't, or maybe you probably are, but maybe you are a 6-figure, 7-figure author. But I know a lot of people like are a 2-figure author or a 3-figure author. And like the expectation is you get to our level and it's like, oh, opportunities flow. Like we've even said it like, there are more opportunities now, but like they're not all good opportunities. Yeah. And my question has really been this year. It's like, it's very easy to say, I got to say yes to everything. Mm-hmm. It's very easy to say, I have to say no to everything that's not a hell yes. But like, eventually it's like all a hell yes. And like, how do you then filter out like which hell yes opportunity is like worth pursuing? Because it's like, yes, I do want to be flown to like Paris to like do a book signing. Yes, I would love to do a book tour in South America. Like, yes, I would love to like speak on like at Hall H and like all of these things. It's like when all of the opportunities are like a hell yes, like what do you do? Like you just get better teams in place. I don't have an answer to that, but it's nice to know that like you're dealing with it every stage. Like it's, what do they say? Every level, another devil.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like when we were talking about all the problems, I wanted to say, look, you get bigger problems, but right. It's good. It meant you grew and it's actually nice because turns out when you're in flow, you're challenged. You're doing something that you love to do, but it's a little bit harder than anything you've done before. And that actually makes you happy. That state of flow, me sitting with my manuscript this morning with all my note cards spread out in front of me going, oh my gosh, this plot, it's bigger than anything I've ever attempted. That's great.
Right.
It's great to have problems. Yeah. It's great to get all this crap happening and get the data and going, I don't want to do that again. And okay, that was interesting. That trad publisher, she'll take a deal, but she'll take my ebook money too. Why would I give her my money?
Right. Yeah.
It was very revealing to me.
Yeah. So I know we're every episode gets a little longer. So like, I want to, we should move to wrapping this up because we both got things to do, but I do want to just say one thing about this whole episode is last year, I ended up looking at our balance sheet and seeing that we had 6 figures that we like put into retirement, like invest, like in our investment accounts. And it pissed me off because I was like, wait, that's a maybe 10% return. every year I'm getting. Business stuff gets 100 or 1,000% return when I invest in it. So I specifically went into this year saying, I need to make some dumb decisions or some like big gambles. I need to not end this year with 6 figures of retirement money and like also on the struggle bus, because like our email list for want to be for a writer MBA is like 5,000 people, and you're like, let's look, I had all of this money that I could have invested into like our email list and our systems, and instead I like chose to put it in a bank account or like an investment account, and like we just moved our investment account to somewhere else. So like all of the things that I said earlier, like on one way, I'm like very happy because I still spent 30 grand or 20 grand to get 6,000 people, which is more than we had on on the writer MBA email list. And like I definitely learned how to run ads and like what the price points are and like what good means and like what a agency considers good versus what I consider good are vastly different. But like I ended last year, even though I had made the most money I'd ever made, and we invested the most money we ever made, furious because like things were not where I wanted them to be in my career. And like while I'm making while I want to make future Russell happy, like not 30 years future Russell, like let's make 1 year Russell happy first and then 5 year Russell. So if everything was working out and like we still had 6 figures of investment, I'd have been like, awesome, great, let's get 7 figures, let's get 8 figures, whatever. But like when things are not going, it's not like things are going bad at writer MBA or want to be press. They just like are not going fast enough and big enough for like our ambitions. So I made a bad decision and like knew it very quickly and don't want to do it again. But like that attitude is like what I keep doing. It's like that's why we had a conference. Like that's why we're doing this podcast. Like that's why I'm launching this other thing big. Like that's why like I'm finding other outlets. Like that's why all of this stuff is happening, because like I needed to get to the level that I want it to be at. And then like money works itself out. But like I've been telling Karen for years and I just embrace like I'm semi-retired. Like I just like I
We
do the
really
things
are.
I want to do
Yeah.
when I want to do them. Like I'm not even writing books like that. Like I wrote a weird metaphysical book and it's still making money. It's just like there's like I feel like I do some I'm semi-retired because there are things that I do that I don't want to do that I must do for money. But in general, like my
Yeah.
time is my own and I'm doing my own thing. And like I'm not making 7 figures as an author, but like I'm making the money that I need to feel like I don't have to do BS stuff. And so I do want to just wrap that part around because like,
Yeah.
oof, $30,000, losing $30,000 where no one wants to be. But like on one hand, I feel pretty good about it because it was a huge risk
Yeah.
that brought me something that I've never had before, and which is like time and space to focus on this problem. And no, I know every aspect of this problem now. Whether I can solve it in the way that I want to solve it, I don't know. But like I understand every side of this issue.
I bet you will solve it. I bet you will keep moving forward.
I think so. And
Yes. That's what life's about. It's about moving forward. And the bigger you get, the bigger problems you have. That's actually a gift.
yeah,
And finally, I think we overestimate where we can get in a year and we underestimate where we can get in 10 years. So I'm asking myself, what would future Lee thank me for? What can I do today? And often it's just sit in that seat and get words and be in my story and play in my story. And everything else is just noise.
yeah. I said earlier, like a couple of days ago, I was like, wow, I just realized that if I have 40 years left of writing before I die, most of my fans haven't even been born yet.
What a great thing to think. We'll leave it with that.
Let's go and do what we got to do today. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. For more, head on over to sixfigureauthorexperiment.com for archive access, resources, and more. We'll see you next time.